to those expectations can be overwhelming. If you're struggling, call or text 988. You'll get skilled, caring support 24/7. Live up to a different kind of strength, the strength to ask for help. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Hey guys, it's Nick. You know how much I love beer, and this game day, show your Husker pride with Deer-owned Nebraska Brew, the official beer of the Nebraska Alumni Association. Brewed by Nebraska fans, for Nebraska fans, Deer-owned Nebraska Brew is your go-to for every kickoff, touchdown, and celebration. Whether it's tailgating, watching the game at home, or gathering with friends, this beer is there to bring that perfect game day refreshment. Deer-owned Nebraska Brew embodies the spirit of Nebraska with every sip. So crack one open and let the good times roll. Deer-owned Nebraska Brew, the official beer of Nebraska alumni. Please drink responsibly.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's most dependable side-by-side, the Mule Pro, built to take on your most demanding days. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of October. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with large selection of motorcycles and side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Stop by every Saturday for their Husker tailgate with free food, drinks, and games.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Probably the best locker room entertainment ever. You know, listening to Chris.
Have you seen the Will Compton's videos before? How does that compare?
What does he say at the end of that thing? I like that part. What does he say?
He uses your go big.
Oh, that's
red.
what he uses my go big red. Right, right.
That's not your go big red.
Yeah,
How is that Vershawn's go big red? That's been a chant long before Vershawn.
It's my go big red. It's mine.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into the LIBA Business Hour, sponsored by Nats to Tasseling, highlighting local independent businesses in and around Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here's your host, LIBA Executive Director Travis Filing and Gary Tharnish.
And good morning. It's another beautiful Saturday morning out here.
It is.
I got to know. So I need to figure out if this is just Travis's busted brain or if you guys do this same thing, right? So this morning, woke up like 4:45 and way before the alarm clock went off. Went downstairs, took the dog. We went for like a 2-mile walk. I sat in the sauna. I made breakfast, did all the kind of like that. I didn't have to be in the studio for 4 hours, right? So you're kind of just easing into the day, doing your thing. And then all of a sudden, I look down at the clock and I am 15 minutes late to leave to come to the studio because I've had such a leisure, lazy morning. Do you guys do that?
Today, mine would be a big no.
No.
We had a real producers event last night for real estate. So I was up very, very late. So no, this morning was like snooze, which I usually don't do. But most of my days are like that. So
I do that.
Do you do that?
Yeah. Morning time is my time. I love to get up ahead of everything else, everyone else, and do my Wordle, read the paper, do some work, and I'm like you. All of a sudden, it's time to go,
right?
And I'm feeling rushed.
Yeah, like you've had such a leisure morning, like time doesn't matter. I have nothing but time today, and then all of a sudden, time's up. You're late.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
Well, our guest this morning is Ryan Weber. He's is it director of the Lincoln Library?
Yes.
Okay.
Library director.
Library director. Very good. So you are relatively new in the position, right?
Right. I've been here almost 2 years. Came in December of 22 from Michigan.
Good. Fantastic. From Michigan.
From Michigan.
And you did the same thing in Michigan?
I did. I was a library director for several years at Kalamazoo Public Library, and then another couple libraries on the west side of Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. What draws you to getting into this line of work? How did you get there? Was this you know what, I want to, when I grow up, I want to run libraries? It never happens that way, right?
No, I would say that's not the case for most librarians. I would say that there are some similarities with librarians where they, love books, love being around people to help share the good things that happen in libraries. But I started out, I wanted to be a baseball player.
Oh, there you go.
I love it.
I grew up in a family. We were very competitive. I had 2 brothers and a sister, and we were always playing sports, basketball, football, baseball. And I had this dream to be an outfielder for the Detroit Tigers.
There you go.
So that, and I was very small as a kid, and but could hold my own. Matter of fact, as a lefty, I didn't play outfield when I was playing baseball in the early ages. I played first base. So here was this kid who was, 4'2" with a first baseman's mitt that was probably half my size. But so I always had that dream of playing baseball or even basketball. I grew up in Lansing, Michigan. So that was around the time with Magic and, Judd Heathcote. And so it was, we just grew up with that. We all wanted to play basketball, but played high school baseball for a while and got cut in my junior year and
from the high school team.
Yeah.
Well,
so
the Tigers aren't calling.
There's my dream is over. My dream is over. But I think what led me, I did 3 years as a business major and struggled with econ and math, and
I get that.
So,
yeah. That's why they have accountants.
Yeah. And then I got into history. I loved reading history, and I love researching, and discovered a program at Western Michigan University that was called Public History, and it combined the love for researching and reading, but also historic preservation work or archival work. And that led me down this path where I eventually got a library science degree, but with an emphasis on archival management. So
wow. I've never even heard of library sciences.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's what professional librarians, we receive master's degree in library and information science. And I went to Wayne State University in downtown Detroit.
Okay.
And got my library science degree there, and started out as a librarian / archivist at the Detroit Institute of Arts. So,
wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So my daughter loved that field here at UNL. She did not get her library sciences degree, but she got an English, bachelor's in English with her minor was Asian classics. So she's always loving the Asian history and always into that. She worked at East Campus Library while she was going to school.
That's
and so
great.
she loved that. She's working on East Campus now, but not in library work, but loves the idea of it. And wants to. She'll probably pursue that someday, I think.
It was so funny when we first met. I had just started at LIBA, so it was probably, I don't know, maybe back in March or something like that. And we got together and had lunch. And the first question I asked, which is the first question I'm going to ask really today, it's kind of a stupid question, but my brain automatically went because everything is at our fingertips right now. And I said to Ryan, I go, are libraries a thing? Right? Because now when I was a kid, we didn't even have a TV because we were poor. And so libraries were the thing. Loved going to the library. And but now you go, gosh, do people really go and check out books? And I mean, just everything is on your phone or your iPad. So and that was where my brain went. So what do you see as far as traffic and people coming to the library?
Yeah, great question. I love to answer this because I've been hearing that question or that assumption for the last 25, 30 years as the digital age has grown and access has become easier and trends have changed with, print versus digital media. But libraries are busier than ever. I'd say that without hesitation. We see that growth of visitorship at all of our branches, the entire system here in Lincoln every single year. We had another 4 or 5% increased growth this past year with patrons coming in, and some of that is predictable, right? As the community continues to grow, you're going to expect that activity at a needed service is going to continue to grow, but that deflates and takes away that argument that libraries aren't needed. But I can tell you that they're coming in for many different reasons, whether people are still checking out books. They're still checking out a lot of materials. We see growth every year there as well. But they're coming in to use computers, to use our meeting spaces, our study spaces.
Right. It's a big thing.
Right. And libraries form or put out the ability for people to connect to one another. They're so important and vital for each of our neighborhoods, just like parks are, just like the schools are. Libraries provide lifelong learning, and whether you're coming in there for a program or some kind of training session, what's centered around each of those activities in our spaces is that vitality, that basic need for being around books. And so we have the resources in each of our spaces to make that happen.
Wow.
Yeah, you look at what they did over here to Love Library on campus when they made that addition to the library. And the business, as in at that time, we were really involved with their grand opening. But I loved that they had a lot of different sizes of meeting rooms. I know in the business world, we had networking groups all the time, and it's challenging to find a place to meet.
Yeah.
But we're 20 to 25 people. So I know, like at Gear Library, when I was doing a leadership thing and then coaching, I would meet there in one of the rooms that you could reserve for like a 3-year period, which was really nice.
And you did that for free too, Gary, right?
No, I pay taxes.
No, I mean, we didn't charge you extra for that room.
I know. Yes, no, you didn't. But another thing they incorporated into Love Library was, it's a donut shop. But I mean, a thing like the mill or anything, as you adapt, looking for the future and things you might change in the future. Do you see integration of that, like coffee shop type atmosphere, but rooms that maybe could hold 25, as well as rooms that could hold 4? What's the future look like for libraries in your mind?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. We know how important it is for people to want to visit the library for that kind of activity, whether it's for a community program or a meeting or just to come in and study. We see it every day. Our buildings currently, they're built at different ages, and most of them were built before the advent of our iPhones.
Technology, sure.
Right. And so they were hard coded for very specific purposes. So if you go into any of one of our buildings, you're going to have a space meant for, this is where we put our books, or this is where we put our computers, or this is where we put our programming area. And so it becomes a little bit difficult as we progress to mesh or to advance to having that capability to move things around.
Sure.
So we have a big need right now for providing more flexibility, but more of those smaller study spaces and meeting spaces to make that use available for our citizens. I can tell you that there are businesses, there are places like coffee shops, like here, at the mill, here at the Ticket. People love to meet and use this space to have conversations, again, to have meetings. We see that in the libraries as well.
Right,
And
sure.
it's expected. It's paid, residents, taxpayers expect to have that ability to come into a library and find that space.
Wow.
And there are coffee shops here in town that have private meeting rooms. The one I think is maybe for 12 people, but it has a television, and you can have your presentation up on there and stuff. And that's something I think integrated into libraries would be really awesome. So I grew up here. Grew up on 28th and P Street. So I would ride my bike down to Bennett Martin in the 60s. That's how young I am. And loved going down there. They would have like a children's weekend. You can go in, they had book readings and things like that for kids. So I grew up at that library, most definitely. And then college, of course, I love library. How many branches do we have in Lincoln?
Sure. We have 8 branches.
Okay.
Right. And a bookmobile.
Right. I know about the bookmobile. What is the newest branch?
It's the Williams branch, Northwest 48th, out in the Arnold Heights area.
Okay. I'm trying to picture where.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture that too. That's kind of out by the airport, right?
Yes. So a little bit north of the airport there. It's south of 34, about a mile.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Right.
And
so
that's used well.
Yeah, and there's a story there. So we've had a library out there since about 1974. It was part of the Arnold Heights Rec Center. Started out right in that area, and then in 2009, when the elementary was put in or built anew, then we were part of that. We had a nice, big, beautiful space up until last year. We moved out of there and into the new facility, which is a shared building with the Air Park Rec Center.
Okay.
So we're closer to the road. We're right next to the road with better visibility, signage on the ground, signage on the building. And what's happened is there's been an explosion of use because, one, more people can see it, but we're not attached to the school anymore. So we have better hours. We're open more hours than just being attached to when the school was open.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to ask about that too, because there was a big discussion years ago, 10, 15 years ago, I know, about why don't we have a joint public library with the schools all the time? That would make great sense. And then it was a big and I'm thinking, well, I volunteered at my kids' elementary school forever. And I'm like, that would never have worked because we use the library for a lot of, but you couldn't have had the public roaming around in there at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
you need accessibility, and this affords better open hours. We're open 7 days a week there now.
Oh, nice.
Well, and I would think too that just having the general public in the same building as a school will start causing problems, just wandering down out of the wrong exit and into the hallway. And
the old building, we couldn't open to the public until 4:00.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That would be kind of a pain.
Big difference.
So how late are a lot of these libraries open now?
8:00 at the latest.
All right.
Yeah, even 8:00 on Sunday nights as well.
Oh, wow.
So what is going on with Bennett Martin? Is it going to move, refurbish? What's it looking like in downtown? Do you know?
Well, no,
I hope you know.
I'd like it to be, but
yeah, we're working hard to find what that right solution is.
Yeah.
And we've been working hard for a long time. This process has been going on really for the last 20 years. In 2002, 2003, that's when we had the real most recent big expansion of services when with a quality of life bond. There were parks put in and libraries put in. So Walt Branch and Isley Branch were both built at that time period. And immediately after that, library administrators in the city started looking at how can we replace Bennett Martin and provide a more modern facility that meets the needs of residents. And throughout that time period, there were many studies done and architects brought in. And for one reason or another, we just didn't get to that point where we knew with finality what that answer was, and how we could afford that. But I think we're looking at things just a little bit differently now. We're looking at not only how do we find the solution for downtown in Bennett Martin, but the branches as well.
Sure.
It's been 20 years while we've been concentrating on Bennett Martin, where we, of course, have made upgrades to roofs and parking lots at the branches and so forth. But we haven't been looking at how we make these buildings more modern.
Right.
For things
Yeah,
that
you
we just
walk
talked
in
about.
and it looks just almost like it did in 1970 in a lot of ways. I mean,
right.
which I get, but
yeah. And then we're also looking at how we can help adapt to the growth that Lincoln is seeing too, especially in the Southeast and potentially in the future in the Northeast as well. Our Gear branch library, for example, Gary, is when it was built in 1971 was really the Southeast library.
Right.
And now it's become more of a not central, but a city center library, and picks up most of the traffic. It has an incredible burden of patronage and usage from city center to all the way, far southeast, 84th and Rokeby.
Wow.
What is traffic like at Bennett Martin? Is that also up 5-6% or every year?
Actually, it led the way. I always when I speak to local service organizations, I show this chart that compares the percentage growth and visitorship for each branch. And last year, Bennett Martin had the highest percentage of growth, probably reflective of more people coming back downtown to work, post COVID. And you can see that, on a daily, weekly basis, that foot traffic that's happening. So there's a lot of office workers, but there's also a lot of, people live downtown, and we're going to see that continue to grow for certain over the next decades.
Yeah, well, and as all these buildings start turning into housing, I mean, I would imagine that that's just going to be a natural fit. The library is 2-3 blocks away. Let's go there. So are there any projects that you guys are working on right now? Are you updating? Are you, kind of modernizing any of the current libraries?
We're always, tackling deferred maintenance projects.
Sure.
So I think that's really been our approach the last several years, beyond, the planning and work that was done for the Williams branch on the northwest side. We're doing some things at Bennett Martin right now because we're overdue. No matter what that plan is for the future, we still have to address needs at Bennett Martin. And for example, we're simple things like replacing carpet. We replace first floor carpet. So if you haven't been in there in a while, take a walk in. It has a nice, welcoming feel, especially in that first floor. And we're going to be putting more carpet throughout the building. I can tell you that some of the carpet is original from there was a 1977 edition on the third and fourth floors. And
Shag.
No, it's a Berber.
Break the shag.
It's a Berber, but it's an orange.
Yeah.
It's an orange color from it's held up very, very well. But we're looking to replace that, and then we have elevator work that we're taking care of as well.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So no plans to move down to the Haymarket and have a bar and a coffee shop.
Well,
I like that. I laughed at first, and now I'm thinking I can have a cocktail and read a book.
Let me share about this. So we know, as we're trying to figure out again what that best plan is for the future library downtown. I can tell you that for a long time the targeted site has been the Pershing.
Right.
And there's a lot of good things related to that site. It's a beautiful view. It's just a block away from where we're at right now. The property is there, we're not taking away from tax base. But then there are also issues with parking,
right?
And
always,
and then being next to other organizations or services is important too. And we realized that when we were doing this work, this community engagement work, and working with our architects the last year, that the importance of teaming up library services as best as possible with other productive things that people want to visit, go to, take care of whether it's going to a children's museum or a business like a coffee shop. We love that idea of partnering with education or museums or retail in some way. We know the benefit of having a place where folks can take care of 2 or 3 things at once. So all to say that whether it's Pershing or not, we're trying to identify what that right location or what that right size building is.
Right. Along with the use of the space as well. Yeah, that all makes sense.
Exactly.
Well, you are listening to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket this morning. It's a beautiful morning, and we're going to take a little break here, and we'll be right back.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time. Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
This show's pretty rockin', huh?
Yeah, I'm so glad my State Farm agent helped me go.
Huh?
My State Farm agent. They help me with options to personalize my auto insurance to get a great rate that fits my budget, so I don't have to give up the things I love.
Wow. Hey, so do you think I could get your State Farm agent's number?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Lease a 2024 Ford F-150 for $437 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1004120, $437 per month, lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 5,500 due with signing, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 9/30/2024. See dealer for details.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an advocate you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you need, advocates you deserve. That's 877-42-LIBERTY or libertylawnebraska.com.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me.
I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
If you're not advertising your business on your vehicle, you're missing out on a lot of potential clients, and it's time to change that. Automotive Solutions excels in vinyl wraps and company IDs. They offer BG services with free warranties available, and they service all cars and diesel trucks too. They also service fleets, and if you push snow in the winter, get ahead now with your vehicles. Don't forget, ticket listeners receive a service discount on preventative maintenance. Call Automotive Solutions for an appointment at 531-249-5600 and stop by at 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's most dependable side-by-side, the Mule Pro, built to take on your most demanding days. Rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of October. On or off-road, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered with large selection of motorcycles and side-by-sides in stock at their new 27th and I-80 location. Stop by every Saturday for their Husker tailgate with free food, drinks, and games.
Early break. Anthony in the mailbag says, good morning, guys. Question for the mailbag. If you were trapped in a 10 by 10 foot by 10 foot concrete room with one animal, what is the largest animal you could kill with nothing but your bare hands?
I'd like to think I could whip an ostrich.
Get hold of his neck. He's gonna whip him around. He's gonna whip him around.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by Ascend Aesthetics.
Okay, and we're back talking with Ryan Weaver of the Lincoln Library System. And so, a stupid question, are there still late fees, right? Because when I was a kid, it was like every day, I think it was 1 cent or 2 cents. Those are little, for those under 30 who are listening, those are those little copper things you throw in the tray at U-Stop. So,
Travis, you still have late fees you haven't paid.
I probably do.
You probably do.
That's probably why Ryan
That's
agreed.
where I go.
Well, let me tell you, Travis, you do not. Come on back in. You do not. We eliminated fees or fines a couple years ago. And
Nice.
it was a growing trend that we studied before making that decision, because it did bring in a certain amount of revenue that we had become dependent on, but not a lot, relatively speaking, to our overall budget. And we found out, as many other libraries across the country, that fines they create a barrier, because if your habit is bringing in books late, some people can handle paying that, and that's okay, and they're used to doing that. But sometimes for folks who may not have that income, it becomes this barrier where it makes it more difficult to come back in and check out books. And that's important to try to figure out a solution for, especially families who are faced with checking out a lot of books and may have racked up fines. Well, anyways, our library board made the decision, along with city administration, to remove fines a couple years ago. Again, we were later to the trend, but we wanted to make sure that we studied it. So we put out a report at the end of 1 year of doing this. This would have been last fall, that showed measurements. For example, how long folks were waiting on books that they had on hold, or how did this change affect our replacement book budget? So every time a book would be lost, well, not every time, but many times when books are lost, we'll go out and replace that. So we looked at things like that and came back and noticed that hold times weren't any longer. Our replacement book budget didn't go up. And then the other side of it, we saw many people come back. We had a 13% increase last year in new cards. So people coming in. We issued 17,000 new library cards last year.
Wow.
Now, some of that are replacement cards. If someone loses their card.
Sure. Yeah, but still.
Or you haven't used your card in a decade and you come back in. But that was a big increase for us last year. So no, you come on back in. No fines on your account. And we still expect folks, if they lose a book, to pay that. And so nothing's changed there.
Now, you have some partnerships with different, is it the Lead Center? And tell us about some of those.
Right. And so, as I was talking about before, we know it's important to partner with other organizations that have physical spaces, near the library, but we also know that it's important to partner with organizations that complement what we do, or introduce folks to what we do and what they do, and that's just a good thing. So, the LEAD Page to Stage, we partner with the LEAD Center for Arts, and they have programs, plays coming in, and many times they're literacy based. So let's say, for example, we just had the Lincoln program at the Lead Center last month, and so we brought in. This was at the House Divided, so we brought in a couple cast members, the playwright, a UNL history professor, and had a kind of behind the scenes Q&A with them, and it drew in a lot of folks. Sometimes it's a kids program, Little Mermaid. We may do story times for that kind of thing.
Sure.
So it introduces folks to what they're doing, but also gets people into the library for special programming. I can also talk about our partnership with Lincoln Public Schools, called Library One Card. So many folks are aware of this, but I'm sure that many aren't aware, and that is the fact that every student in Lincoln Public Schools automatically has a public library card. And
that's sweet.
They have the ability to opt out, but how this works is every student's ID number, their student ID, also doubles as a library card number. And it's in our system that way. So that makes it easy, for folks who maybe, especially young families who are busy, if they're not able to get into a library to get a card, or a kid maybe has parents or family members that can't get them there, then they've got that card. But what makes that more useful is, especially after school, or they're out of school and have a need for help at night with homework help. That's a database that we offer at the library. So a mom or dad can work with their kid on homework help and log into that program on our website using their student ID.
That is sweet.
That's really cool. Now, do you guys still do your library book sales?
We do. We don't have the big, huge book sale, if that's what you're referring to.
The last one I went to was massive.
Yeah,
it was huge.
Used to be at the event center, and it would be several days, and it would bring in probably $50,000 or $60,000 revenue for our library foundation, who ran that. But there were many volunteers involved. It was an intensive effort, and that stopped at COVID time.
Right.
We tried to bring it back this year with pop-up book sales. We called them pop-up book sales, with the idea that they would be in our branches as a way to get people into our buildings and enjoy, the opportunity to buy some quality books at low prices. And those were very popular.
Sure.
There's a question as to whether we continue those, because they're still labor intensive, and it's become hard to find the volunteers to help run that kind of effort. But I can tell you that every day folks have access to what we call book nooks. These are sections in our library, usually near the front door, couple shelves, 7-8 foot shelves that have a lot of books on them, quality, in nice condition, that the foundation also manages and keeps it stocked, and still brings in nice revenue via that route through the foundation for us.
Very cool. So what do you do with most of the book when they hit retirement age, so to speak? I mean, you can only read them so many times and they start falling apart. What typically happens to them at that point?
Right. So some are disposed of if they're not in good condition, or they're not going to serve any quality use, or we can't deploy it to the next stage, which is either a book sale, or oftentimes the foundation will send pallets worth of used or donated books to an organization called Thrift Books, which is we send them to them, and then they probably try to resell, but we get a nice check every time that happens.
Oh, nice.
So as the population of Spanish speaking population grows here in Lincoln, do you have books printed in Spanish, or is it all English?
We do have a collection of non-English books, and we're trying to grow that because we recognize that Lincoln is a pretty welcoming city for new immigrants and new Americans, and we see that need. And we also know that if there are new immigrant families coming in that have language barriers, that the kids may have an easier time adjusting, through
Sure,
their
school.
schools, right? But sometimes the parents or grandparents may not have it quite so easy. So we recognize that's where the library can step in and provide those complementary type resources.
And I would imagine it's probably easier as it grows to get those more the downloadable type books, or are those actual hard physical copies as well?
It's both. We're trying to build our physical collection so folks see that and recognize it when they come into our spaces and know that it's available. But certainly the online resources are available as well.
So how many books do you have that we're probably going the same direction here, but I know the look. We've worked with each other long enough.
You got it.
But how many of your books are like physical and how many are I guess you would say virtual? I mean,
audio.
Digital. Audio books.
Great question. I don't have that exact number for you. I can get it for you later, but I would say we probably, I'm just guessing here, probably 700, 800,000 physical material items. And then digitally through our Overdrive collection, Overdrive probably has, I'm guessing, around 40,000 books.
Okay.
But then Hoopla, which is our on-demand service online, probably has hundreds of thousands of books. So it's either very close, digital to print or digital to physical, or the digital offerings may be a little bit higher with Hoopla.
When we were chatting at the break, and I am a book guy. I like to have it in my hands. I want to have it. And the ones I own, I write in, I highlight, I know where I could go to it if I want to reference back to them. A lot of mine are business books, but I also love fiction. But there's that growing population that likes audio. I don't necessarily like audio. It kind of depends, but the one that's like, it's an early morning fall and the danger.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm sleeping already. But that is popular. There's an expense for you in that. You said there's a couple platforms that you use, and I would have thought like you buy it once and you're done, but that's not necessarily the case.
Right. And I'm just going to take a step back and provide just a little bit of background on digital versus physical. I think listeners would be interested to know that print for public libraries especially is still king. Print, physical items, DVDs, they're still super popular. And when we look at our circulation or checkout statistics, roughly 70% still is physical versus to 30,
I believe it,
for digital.
Yeah.
Sure. Digital could be much higher. Public libraries have a harder time compared to retail in meeting the needs or meeting the demand of that digital content for that readers are giving us. But we work hard to find what that solution is. So most public libraries, especially bigger ones in more urban environments like Lincoln, we offer a couple different modules or models for that kind of service. One is Overdrive. That's e-content. So ebooks, e-audios, magazines, some video material. And then the other platform is Hoopla. And Overdrive, and they're two different models. Overdrive is, and folks will know it as Libby on their phone or their iPad. That's the name of the app, Libby. Overdrive, libraries have to go in and buy individual copies to fill their digital shelves. So we sometimes pay a high premium to that, to not own the book, but to buy the digital rights or the digital license for that. Not only title, but every individual copy that we decide to buy.
Right.
It's like having a real, bookshelf, but it's just filled with digital copies.
So you can't just download it once and then I get a copy and Gary gets a copy.
No, it's not on demand.
It's a checkout.
Right.
Wow.
Right. So, it's great that we have this option in one way, but it makes it difficult for us to meet that demand. So Overdrive provides all the latest best-selling authors. We can find everything on there. We can make it available, but sometimes again that cost is very high. We'll pay anywhere between $15, $20 in the low end, $15, $20 on the low end, up to over $100 for especially e-audio books.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And and what makes the digital platform I would say a little bit different than the physical platform, physical materials, is that e-audios are extremely popular on Overdrive and Hoopla. They're in high demand. We have a lot of library patrons here in Lincoln, especially, who love listening to books, and and those books they can become costly. So there's that issue with Overdrive, and most libraries then try to supplement their Overdrive or their Libby collection with an on-demand alternative as well. And across the country, most libraries have Hoopla. Hoopla is super easy to use, and so is Overdrive. But you just download an app, create a simple account, and it lets you in basically with your library card number, and that material is on demand. But it won't always provide the author maybe that you're looking for, or the title that you're looking for. And but again, it's a huge collection, and whether it's on Overdrive or Hoopla, you're going to find a lot of choices to read. But the Hoopla platform is on demand, and so that means that whatever is in their collection, you have access to. You don't have to put your name on hold for it. You don't have to wait, a week, 3 weeks, maybe 3 months.
Yeah, it's just there.
It's just there. So, but every time you do that, the library will get charged a certain fee, and it's like $2, $3 on average.
Wow.
And that's okay, but it does add up. And,
Sure. Yeah.
But it's a super popular platform, and we've had to put limits in there. For example, a patron has access to it, but I think right now we're down to giving 5 checkouts per month per patron.
You get a speed reader, man. He could really rack up a bill for you.
Or somebody who just looks at titles and they're just downloading them and not really listening to all of them.
It kind of makes sense, because it's like part of your brain goes, well, geez, you just download one copy and everybody gets it. But then if you write a book, how many did you sell, Travis? 3. One to my mom, one to my wife, and one to the library.
And I gave 20 away.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess, that I never really thought of it in that way. But
and one stat I always mention is that I heard this many, many years ago. It was 2010 when Amazon, for the first time, sold more digital content than print books. So that was 14 years ago. And it's not the same case in public libraries. And part of that reason is people still love to hold a physical book. But the other, the other reason is that we just can't meet that demand.
Sure.
And whether it's budgetary or whether it's just the models that we have to work with from those vendors and from the publishers. The publishers, there are 4 or 5 major publishers who kind of set the parameters for how this whole e-content works.
that's funny, because I really figured I was a dying breed, because I have to have that physical copy. You put the bookmark in, you see how far I read today, how far do I have to go, So I really figured that was just kind of a dying breed, but it's a surprise to know that the hard physical copy is still what people want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
It's nice to have that in your hand when you're sitting down at night or whenever you read. I like to read in the morning myself, but it's nice to have that in your hand and copy, whereas opposed to just listening to it is a whole different scenario for me. But I would assume the ebooks took off like crazy during COVID. Is that a correct assumption, or no? Was it still just
it did here in Lincoln, but also all over the country.
Right, sure. Makes sense.
And we still see that demand. So I think last year we saw maybe a small increase, or it was flat for print material, but digital content went up 13%. It was 16% the year before that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we consider our 9th branch our online resources, our online library.
Interesting. Sure.
All right. Well, we got one more break to take here, and then I got a few more questions for you, obviously. And you are listening to the LIBA Business Hour, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Hey guys, it's Nick. You know how much I love beer, and this game day, show your Husker pride with Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of the Nebraska Alumni Association. Brewed by Nebraska fans, for Nebraska fans, Dear Old Nebraska Brew is your go-to for every kickoff, touchdown, and celebration. Whether it's tailgating, watching the game at home, or gathering with friends, this beer is there to bring that perfect game day refreshment. Dear Old Nebraska Brew embodies the spirit of Nebraska with every sip. So crack one open and let the good times roll. Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of Nebraska alumni. Please drink responsibly.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown Shoe Fit. Now, through October 31st, take $15 off any regular priced fall shoe and boots. Brands like Keen, Obos, Echo, Taos, and Atrex, all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale that you've all been waiting for. So get down to Brown Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an advocate you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you need, advocates you deserve. That's 877-42-LIBERTY or libertylawnebraska.com.
Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue by Single Barrel, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Davis Plumbing is a locally owned company specializing in a wide range of plumbing services for both commercial and residential customers. Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and has a team of experienced plumbers ready to help you with any project, big or small. Customer satisfaction and peace of mind is their number one priority. So for any commercial or residential project, give Davis Plumbing a call today at 402-525-6922. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Herch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ooh, what a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks, exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Back to the LIBA Business Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This segment sponsored by U-Stop and Whitehead Oil.
And we're back for our last segment of the LIBA Business Hour with Ryan Weaver from the Lincoln Library System. Now, you had mentioned like downloading audiobooks. So if I'm going on a road trip, how can I come in and download 2 or 3 audiobooks, or is it one at a time? How does it work?
No, it's as many as you want.
Oh.
And it's very convenient, very easy. So you just download the apps, put on your phone, your device, and then when you're in your car, connect, via Bluetooth, and super, super easy. I came home to Lincoln last weekend from Michigan, and I had it was a forever drive, it seemed, but I listened to an entire book the whole way.
Right.
And
sure.
it was so convenient. And you can make adjustments, you can increase the speed at which it's being played. So
interesting.
a 20-hour book maybe could be done in, 16 hours.
And you just have to download the app. I don't even have to come into the.
No, you can do it from home.
How handy is that?
You and if you haven't been into the library in a while and you're not sure if your card is active, you could, or you haven't had a card in a while, you can actually go to our website at lincolnlibraries.org and register for a new card and get immediate access to using our online resources.
Wow.
So one thing I want to talk about for sure, this is a short segment here, but One Book, One Lincoln. You've been doing that for years. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So a lot of communities across the country have a signature event like a community read. And we have one, and it's probably one of the best, I can tell you, because I've had experience in other library systems. And what makes ours so sweet is that the community is truly involved from start to finish. This isn't just a group of library staff or employees who are deciding which book we're gonna put out there as the community read. We start at the beginning of the year taking actually all year long. Folks can nominate books or send in, hey, please consider this year, and we'll get hundreds of ideas. But then there's a selection committee made up of community members. So there's about 12 to 15 community members, a couple of library staff. It's led by a community member, and they have a very thorough process where they break down and winnow down that number of nominations, and they get it down to a total of about 25 books in the wintertime. And then they read those 25 books over the course of 6 weeks or so.
Oh man.
And they come back and I'm
out. There's no way I could do
it. And then it gets down to a top 10 and then a top 3. And throughout the summer then is when folks have that opportunity to read those top 3 books and vote online or call in and give your vote. And this year's winner, which was announced early September, is the book called The Berry Pickers, written by Amanda Peters. Amanda Peters is a Nova Scotia-based author and of Indigenous people's descent, and that's what this story is centered around, a 4-year-old girl who vanished while her family was down in Maine for the summer picking blueberries. So it's a fascinating read. It's very discussable, and it's received good reviews from our community this past summer and fall. But what is great about our event this year is we're actually bringing in the author. We're bringing in Amanda Peters.
That's cool.
For an in-house event Monday night, this coming Monday night, actually, October 14th at 7 p.m. at Lincoln High School in their auditorium.
Oh, nice.
It's free.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and there'll be a presentation, a Q&A, and then a book signing. Folks can purchase books while they're there or bring in their own copy, and Amanda will sign.
Or check it out from the library.
Check it out.
Buy extra copies of the one book when it's decided.
We do. We got to keep people supplied with that during that process. And I can't tell you exactly how many, but it's about dozens and dozens and dozens.
Yeah. I love the idea. I think it's great. And how long has that been going on? Do you know? It's a long time.
I think this.
It seems like a long time.
Yeah, 22nd year, something like that.
I would believe that. It's definitely been around for a while.
Right.
And love it. So that's
very
great.
Cool. Fantastic. Well, I'm trying to think of what other library questions I have. There's so many things to talk about. But
I got an idea.
Fire away.
Okay, real quick. At Bennett Martin Public Library downtown, we have a new resource on our second floor, and it's our local history hub. So if you are interested in local history or family history, you want to do your genealogy, we've got a nice little section carved out now with all of our resources there in one area. Our microfilm newspaper collection, our access to ancestry.com, our access to the Sanborn fire insurance maps if you're doing your house history. And it's surrounded by these beautiful, oversized local historical photographs that kind of set that area apart.
Oh, I would
so
love
super cool.
that. As a realtor, I would love that to know about parts of town.
Yep.
And
that would
that
be
is
really cool.
crazy.
I totally forgot about the whole, I'm sure it's changed now. Remember the old microfiche and the huge machines? And I imagine you guys don't do that now, right?
We do, but we,
Do
matter
you
of fact,
really?
we have two high-end digital microfilm machine reader printers. So super easy to use. You can zoom to different sections of the paper quick. You're not reeling things or pressing a button to get to the end of the reel. So
do you have any
how cool is
services
that?
available for like the blind?
The state of Nebraska, with the Nebraska Library Commission, has a library collection where if you go through their system, you can have things that they have recorded delivered right to your house. So that's Nebraska Library Commission, and they're located here downtown Lincoln. If you go to their website, but you can also get help from our staff who can point you in the right direction for that.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much for coming in and talking to us. Give us the website one more time.
It's lincolnlibraries.org.
Fantastic. Get in, get your library card, get your physical copy, and get back to radio.
Come on in and see us. We'd
All
love to
right.
see you.
Yeah. You're listening to LIBA Business Hour, and we will see you guys next week.
This is State Senator Carolyn Bozin. Public safety is important in our community. I have a proven record of protecting public safety. I have prosecuted perpetrators of domestic violence, advocated for the rights of child abuse victims, held sexual predators accountable, and fought to keep drug traffickers off our streets. This is Senator Carolyn Bozin, and I will continue to fight to keep our community safe. Vote Carolyn Bozin on November 5th. Paid for by Bozin for Legislature.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it?